Alright, hello everybody. Welcome back to a Russian Batman video. Today, I have something that I was really really excited to work on, and I decided to work on it as soon as I got back from my very large trip, my very long trip abroad. And so I wanted to modify the Iron Man figure because that's a figure that gets a lot of criticism, and I thought maybe I could do some little modifications to make it better. I honestly actually didn't really think it needed that many. I only really had a few gripes with it, mainly the arms and the torso, and that's what I decided to kind of modify a bit. And I don't think I did a great job, but I think I did a pretty good job. So I wanted to show you guys because I remember a few of my other modification videos, do pretty well, and you guys seem to like those. So I decided to do it with the Iron Man. I did not modify the legs and feet in any way because I honestly think that they are pretty great. So I'm actually, for the sake of this video, and I could show you the actual whole figure up close, I'm going to actually just take off the legs and just show you guys the torso and the arms, right? So let's see if I get this. So I know it's a bit weird. Maybe I could put him on the display case. I don't think he's going to fit because it has a ball joint connection, but I'll just show you guys up close kind of what I decided to do, and I'll show you guys one last little look at him close. So the first major modification to this guy I made was the arms, and let's get a close-up look at those. And mainly because the connection of the arms, if you guys don't know, is they use these kind of big the same piece they use for the faceplate, they use for the shoulders, which looked nice for shoulders when it was all together, but it looked a bit weird because the arms weren't really connecting where the shoulders were. There was a bit of a disconnect where you would have the arm would be connected to the body just like kind of below the shoulder, and the shoulder would be above it. So it would look like it would connect at some angles, but others it would be really, really weird. So I wanted to fix that by first, I actually wanted the shoulder to be connected to the arms, but I actually found that was actually more difficult, especially with the big arm piece. So the way I circumvented that is I actually I still made the shoulder connected to the torso instead of the arms, but I made it way smaller so the arms could be further up. So you can see the shoulder looks like it's roughly here, and that's actually where the arm is connected, so roughly here. And you can see I use these kind of smaller dome pieces, and it just connects onto another ball joint like so. But you can see the ball joint is also a little bit higher up, and the arm is a bit higher up than it was before. It doesn't have that other ball joint piece in there. Also with the arm is I made the forearm actually a lot bulkier. I used some of these pieces to kind of look like a bicep, and I wasn't trying to be accurate to the, I think this is the Mark 45 or something. I wasn't really trying to be accurate. I just kind of wanted to make it look good, and I really do like it when the whole forearm is all gold, so that's what I did here. Some detailing on the side, and here you can still see it still does have that sticker, that little, I think it's a sticker that I had to put on there. Yeah, it's a sticker. But yeah, you can see, like I said, I think it looks really good because then you see the kind of becomes a bit flush with the arm. I did not modify this part. I might want to extend the forearm a little bit just so it can be a little bit more in proportion with the bicep, and because I made this arm longer to actually reach where it's supposed to go, because this part is because the connection of the arm is taller, so I needed the arm to be a bit longer to be in proportion with everything else. And you can see here, like I said, you still get the full rotation, and then once you get in the pose you want, you kind of have to adjust the shoulder to fit. Now in some angles the shoulder actually doesn't look the greatest. You can see it's a bit further up in the arm than it's really supposed to be. You can see if you do it like back, it doesn't completely work, but I actually think it's a lot better because it's so hollowed out, and because it's a bit smaller, there's a bit more leniency than the other kind of big bulky shoulders. And yeah, and you can see there, and I did that with both arms. And then, speaking of the arms, let's actually go on to the hands, because I did modify one thing. Um, see that I used this stickered piece, and this piece used to be on the torso, but I changed the torso up, so I used it for the hands, so I could still use that kind of detail, so I don't have to, sacrifice all those stickered pieces. And you see here, one thing I didn't like is I didn't like how the hand was all blue, and it had, because this whole dish piece was blue, like the, same transparent blue they used for the Tesseract. I didn't like that. So I replaced it with a red piece, and I did some painting to kind of make it look like it was printed on or something. And I just did a little circle, very simplistic, but I really like how it looks, because the repulsors aren't as big as the hand, so it's more subtle and makes it a bit smaller, and I actually really like how that looks for the repulsor. So you can see there, him blasting or something. But yeah, I didn't change up the hands that much besides that. And I did that, like I said, for both hands. So let me show that off here. So you could have both repulsors, and like I said, those are both slightly different because you see the silver detailing is, kind of inversed. And yeah, so let me show you guys the torso. So the torso, I want to improve it more. I didn't improve it that much. I really just changed the shaping of it. Instead of, kind of coming down, it kind of goes, it's a bit more triangular, where it goes like that. And I think that just kind of adds a little bit more character. I do, like I said, want to improve. I want to somehow improve these flaps, because it does look relatively flat. And I still don't really like, I want to add more color to the torso, but I don't know how to do that in a good way. So I just did this where I basically elevated the chest plates, and to make the Tesseract kind of a bit, kind of in the torso instead of sticking out of the torso. And it still has that feature where you could boop, 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 do that. I still don't like how that looks, because it's just, I don't like it. Lego really needs to get a new light brick. The yellow light brick really doesn't work, because they keep on trying to use it for Iron Man, and it just, that's yellow. That they need to get either a white light, so you can actually, use, because they try to use this blue plate to make the light look blue, but it doesn't. I think they just need to get an actual white light instead of this yellowish tinted light. So yeah, and that's really it for the torso, for the shaping. Really, it's the interior of the torso that changed, because I had to readjust where the ball joint came from. See on the back here, I actually did change up these flaps a little bit. They're on a slightly different piece, because I had to change it up, because I had to replace the kind of big piece that came out with this on the side, and then these had to change. But they're still here. I didn't want to completely get rid of them, and they could still flap up. They don't have the blue on the underside, because that would be a bit too bulky. I wanted to be a bit see here, it's a bit more flush with the actual thing, and then you could adjust it as you please. And I think that looks actually even a little bit better than Legos, because you don't have that big blue on there. It's a bit more flush, and so you could still take the Tesseract out if you want, just like so. But it's actually kind of cool, because since these are actually kind of angled, so they're not actually straight, which I think gives them a bit more character, but also kind of blocks it from taking out immediately. So if you accidentally push down, it doesn't go flying out. There's a little bit of a lock mechanism, which was unintentional, but I actually really like that. Let's go into the head. You can kind of see a little bit of the modifications to it. It's so I put a tire piece to bulk out the neck a little bit. You can see here, this is the piece they use, and so you can see in comparison, especially from the side, that looks quite strange. It works from, like I said, the front when you don't see it, but when you do see it, it doesn't look that great. So I thought, I'll bulk it out just a little bit. So I got this little tire piece. This is official Lego tire piece, and I've seen this one mock maker who uses this all the time for his figures. I don't know who he is, but you just put that in there like so, and it will still fit, and it'll still be fully posable. It'll just be a little bit harder. It still looks a bit too thin, honestly, but it bulks it out a little bit, so it's not super awkward. It's still awkward from the side. But like if you look at it like that, yeah, that looks fine, and still Like I said, still full rotation. Doesn't actually, surprisingly, doesn't actually reduce the mobility at all. And I mentioned earlier that the shoulder pieces were the big bulky ones, right? That is actually the same piece as the headpiece, just with no printing. So it gave me an idea because I had those two leftover heads. I could actually give him an alternate faceplate, and that's actually what I decided to do. And I thought that would be really cool because I paint stuff, so I could just paint on an alternate faceplate. So you can see if you take this one off. I gave him an alternate faceplate with his visor off. Like that, and it gives him the Tony Stark head. And I actually really like how this... I was a bit speculative how it would turn out. The way I painted it, I just kind of copied the outline of this and just kind of removed his face, and then, kept that little bit in there. And yeah, so I made it look like his faceplate is off. Usually his faceplate kind of goes up, but I couldn't really do that without painting this, and then, so I decided just to have his faceplate off, because there are, I think, some scenes where he completely takes it off. But yeah, so you can kind of get that Tony Stark face. I really like how this turned out. I think it gives it just a lot of personality to it, honestly. It's like, it looks like it's Tony Stark, especially with the, hold up. Yeah, look at that. It's like, hey, I'm Tony Stark. I have a lot of money. I don't know. I just really like how that looks. So with designing the face, I wanted it to still look very, even though this isn't in proportion with a Lego minifigure, it's more of an action figure, I still wanted it to kind of look a little bit like a Lego minifigure in ways. Like the eyes are very minifigure-esque, and same with kind of like, I would say, the mouth and some of the detailing on there. But, so I still wanted it, but also, like I said, I didn't want to go full realistic, but I did go a little bit, realistic, because once you had a bigger scale like that, you can kind of get away with some minor details that wouldn't look that great on a minifigure. Like I put some bags underneath his eyes. If you put that on a minifigure, it would look like he's super, super tired. But here, it just looks like he's a little, he works a little bit too hard sometimes, And then I also, like I said, I painted just painted complete flesh tones with some of the detailing, same as like the Lego minifigure flesh tones. See, like I said, not the full realistic, but it's in line with Lego, and I like how that looks. You see, I also designed the hair on there, where I just painted that on. Like I said, didn't sculpt anything. This is all just painted on. Which, I know some people may not like that, but it's a lot better than making a brick build, because I could either make my own piece, which wouldn't look good, it wouldn't look like Lego, or I could brick build it, and whenever you brick build faces, like human faces, it never looks good. I'm sorry, but even like on a Statue of Liberty, it just does, it unless you're doing it at a really, really large scale, building actually human-like faces is not great. So, I did what I could, and I really like how it looks. And like I said, I painted on the hair with some black. It was dark brown with some black lines and some light brown highlighting, as you can see there. So yeah, that's basically it for my modified Iron Man. Let me show you one last shot with this faceplate and with the legs on there. Where did I put the legs? That is a good... Oh, here it is. So you can see a full look at him, all posed up and ready to go. Oh, is he breaking on me? No, okay. Yeah, I'll do him like kind of doing the superhero landing pose, because then he's a bit shorter, and maybe I can show him on camera. Yeah, let's see. Alright. I'm doing this completely improv. Boom. Okay. Here. Gotta get this cool. Okay. Still doesn't fit on camera, but I can move the camera back and look at that. Yeah, so just like... Yeah, look at that. I think that looks really cool. I really like that. I think these modifications really help kind of sell the figure in general. If you disagree, if you don't like these modifications, please tell me. I don't mind. Tell me that these modifications don't look the greatest. I don't think, like I said, they are the greatest of all time. There are a lot better modified Iron Mans out there, but I wanted to kind of do a bit of a simplistic one, and I kind of just wanted to see what I could do with kind of my own spin on it. And I really like it, especially with this new removable, with this new face print, so you could do multiple. Honestly, it would have been pretty cool if Lego did that. Like if Lego included multiple of these, so you could like interchange it. Because I mean, if they're trying to make it look like an actual action figure, most action figures out there, or at least display action figures have different faces you can interswap on them. So I think it would have been cool if they did that, especially because it is just one piece that you just kind of take off. It's not the easiest thing in the world because sometimes because you try to take it off and it is sometimes a bit difficult because it has that little pull in there kind of sticking it on. But yeah, if you guys liked the video, hold up, dude, this is like a perfect transition. If you guys liked the video, I'm clever, please leave a like. If you guys really liked the video and you want to see more content like this, well, I have the perfect solution for you. It's called subscribing. You should probably do it if you want. Like, if you want more of this content. I also have, a whole bunch of other content. I customize minifigures, Lego minifigures, and a whole bunch of other Lego stuff, and also some other random non-Lego related stuff. So, yeah, it's more important than liking, subscribing, doing all that good stuff. It's watching the 2011 film Rango. It is a very good film. You should go watch it. And yeah, just have a wonderful day. And yeah, bye.